Two passengers on board a Lion Air flight that made an emergency landing at the Bandaranaike International Airport this morning were admitted to the infectious disease hospital in Colombo. Two other passengers on board the plane had already passed away when the aircraft landed at the Bandaranaike International Airport. One passenger admitted to the infectious disease hospital was in critical condition.
The Lion Air flight had made an emergency landing at 2:45 this morning as two passengers on board the plane had fallen sick. However, when airport officials examined the two Indonesian national passengers who had fallen ill, they had already passed away. Another passenger who was 70 years of age on board the plane who was also suffering with an illness, and the bodies of the two deceased passengers were sent to the Negombo hospital. The passenger in critical condition was transferred to the infectious disease hospital in Colombo. According to officials at the Negombo hospital, body parts of the deceased passengers were handed over to the National Medical Research Institute in Colombo for investigations. The cause of death has not yet been identified. Hospital officials confirmed that another passenger who accompanied the 70-year-old to the IDH in Colombo was also admitted for observation. The two deceased passengers as well as the two passengers admitted to the IDH were all Indonesian nationals. An emergency medical inspection report has been called in to identify the nature of the disease. According to police, one of the deceased passengers was a 64-year-old male while the other was a 74-year-old woman. The flight JT85 that made the emergency landing was an Airbus A330-900 aircraft belonging to Lion Airlines. The flight had taken off from the King Abdulaziz International Airport in Saudi Arabia at 5:30 p.m. local time and entered the Sri Lankan airspace 5.5 hours later. The flight was travelling at an altitude of 39,000 feet above the seas of Trincomalee at a speed of 541 miles per hour when turned back to make an emergency landing at the Bandaranaike International Airport. Following the bodies of the two deceased passengers being handed over and the other two passengers being dropped off at the BIA, the flight continued its journey to the Surabaya Airport in Indonesia after a 6-hour delay. 285 passengers were on board the flight, and Sri Lankan hospital officials said that all passengers on board the plane should have been inspected. The Indonesian embassy said that they are attempting to contact the relatives of the deceased passengers. According to the embassy, future action on the deceased passengers can only be taken after contacting their relatives.